We've been excavating here at the site near Wych Farm now for 2.5 weeks. When we started this excavation, we were hoping to find industrial material, perhaps the remains of an early community living on the banks of the harbour. As we've begun to excavate further, we've been finding an extensive industrial complex featuring many phases of activity. One of the most exciting things that we found so far is in our main workshop complex. We finally started to get through the upper layers of waste deposition within that feature down to a clay-lined floor. And right on that floor layer, right on top of that floor, is a layer of burning that seems to be associated with a burnt down structure or a collapsed roof. So we're really getting a sense of the earliest phase of that structure. We identified a very thin layer of burning debris that seems to be the burnt down remains of the structure's roof, so we can tell that it had a very rudimentary thatched-like structure to it. So far we have extensive evidence of high temperature industry, and most of the evidence seems to be pointing towards salt working. We know from the Domesday Book that harbourside communities in this area were producing salt in the service of Milton Abbey, a large monastery nearby. Because of the mixed range of industry alongside salt working that we seem to be identifying here, this site could be incredibly important in medieval narratives. In this part of the world, in Dorset around Poole Harbour, we don't have a great deal of evidence for activity in this period. The story really of medieval history is the stories of kings, queens and ruling households, whereas this site is telling us the story of normal everyday people and how they went about their working lives. Understanding sites like this one are incredibly important to understanding this period of history. The people who were living here were normal people going to work, going about their day-to-day lives. These aren't kings, these aren't queens, these aren't noble people. They are just people getting by. In understanding these communities, we can start to understand the nature of the economy at the time. And the economy really in this period was split between the feudal economy of knights and kings and the monastic economy that had links all the way back to Rome. And it's that monastic economy really, and that burgeoning monastic tradition, that gives a sense of wider European connectivity. So in understanding the people here, we can tie them into these wider narratives of historical change and wider economic questions.
So we've had a really good few weeks. The site's progressing really well, and what we've done is be able to reveal a really large and interesting area of archaeological activity. The students have worked really hard and got down really into the nitty-gritty of the archaeology. They've stripped off a lot of the overburden, the remains of the agricultural period, and we're really getting into an industrial phase of the landscape, and we're really beginning to tease out a bit of detail now. When we were looking at the geophysics before the project started, we could see there were some areas of really intense activity, but we didn't really have an idea or a handle on what they were. But now, because of the students' hard work, we've been able to really tease out different types of activity relating to some form of industry, relating to furnaces and so on. And we began to make sense of their position in the wider landscape. So it's been a really positive last few weeks. We've still got a lot of work to do to really get a real handle on those types of activities and the types of industries. But everyone's working really hard and feeling positive about the project.